just fear its sun comes closing in.
There's one of the tracks from the new musical in Melbourne. It's called Violet. Saw it last weekend. It is magnificent. It had the audience gripped. It really, really did. It's a beautiful, beautiful story, and one that you've got to go and see. Violet, the musical, opened in Melbourne last Saturday night, and it's got show-stopping anthems all the way through it, ranging from American roots to folk gospel. It follows a truly original woman who, on this quest across America to find divine intervention, due to being involved in an accident, she's facially scarred, and she's setting out to find the man who's going to fix all this up for her. Set back in the 1960s in Southern America, we follow her travels, her ups, her downs, her discoveries that, well, true beauty is not always in the eye of the beholder, and my guest is the actor herself, the star Violet. Sam Dodemaide is joining me online right now. Sam, welcome into 97.7 FM.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Sam, thank you very, very much for your busy schedule and joining us here today on this program. Congratulations to you. What a magnificent opening you had Saturday night. We were there on the Sunday. It was just magnificent. And how you get through all of that, you're on stage 24/7, as it were. You're there non-stop. What a wonderful production.
Yeah, the show goes for an hour and 45, and I leave the stage for about 4 minutes of that.
Yep.
So it's a bit of a marathon indeed. Thank you for your kind words. I'm so glad you enjoyed it.
Absolutely. You're getting some fantastic reviews around the place. I haven't seen one bad one yet, and I've got to join all of those and just congratulate you, Sam. It's a wonderful cast, and we'll talk about Monty, Steve, in just a moment's time. But let's go to your career, because you're very, very well known. Sweet Charity, you were in Wicked. Anything Goes. You did a lot of work with the production company. They've got more stuff this year too. You had the producers. King Kong, what a production that was. Chorus Line, and so many things. But I suppose can I say your break in a way was 2013 when you went across to the States with that Rob Guest Award, and you studied in New York, and you fell in love with Violet at that stage.
Yeah, I was very fortunate and lucky to win the Rob Guest Endowment, which is a wonderful competition that, in the legacy of the great past Rob Guest, presents a financial prize to the winner, and they audition hundreds, and then it goes down to the top 30, and then to the top 6. And I was lucky to be awarded as the winner for the 2013 competition, and they provide finances for young performers to keep enhancing their skills and growing. And so with that, I went to New York for 3 months and studied at the Atlantic Theatre Company, which was a fabulous full-time acting course. It was very intense, but it was just riveting, and I learnt so much. And while I was there, I saw the Broadway production of Violet. It was actually the first show I saw the day after I landed in the Big Apple, and I just fell in love with it. And I sat there in the audience thinking, God, I would love to play that role, never thinking that it would be possible and that it would happen. Lo and behold, here I am right now playing the role myself.
And how was that part offered to you?
Well, you mentioned King Kong, and the two producers, Damien Birmingham and Josh Robson, were cast members with me in King Kong. And the two guys put on a charity concert while we were performing in King Kong. We had an incredible ensemble, and so they wanted to not only raise money for a great charity, but showcase the talents of the ensemble, and I performed in that concert. And so obviously I knew the producers quite well, and they knew my craft. And when I knew after that concert was a great success, they decided that they were going to take it further and start their own company, which is how Blue Saint formed. And they put on a one-woman cabaret show called Guilty Pleasures, starring Angelique Casamadis first. And then their next step was they wanted to find a small theatre piece that they could put on. And I suggested Violet and said, this is a great production. I just saw it. It stars 11 ensemble members and only 6 in the band, which is perfect for a small little company. And it was just my suggestion to them. And then after they went and did some research and watched the bootleg and read the script, they came back and said, we want to do it. Will you play Violet? And of course, I
You said
didn't,
yes.
reject that offer.
Rightly so. You mentioned their Blue Saints productions. This is their first, isn't it, that they've done? But they've got many more coming up this year. I was reading the other day that there's quite a few more productions from them. So we're looking forward to them being quite a force to be reckoned with. And perhaps you'll get more work from that group too.
They're just incredible. And the guys that, they really wanted to produce shows for the talent that was in them. Rather than how many, Damien was just talking to me last night, rather than how many Twitter followers or Facebook followers a performer has. It's more about, is the performer and the performers and the cast and the creatives right for this show?
Yes.
And can we find the best fit for it? And I really have a lot of respect because that's a real gamble, putting it on for the love of it and for the passion of it rather than the financial rewards. And they're just, I tip my hat off to the two producers, and I do hope that their future shows, and they're creating work for, those underdogs, the people in the ensemble who do have the skills to do more. And thanks to companies like Blue Saints, we can have our moment and we can really explore our craft further.
Well, the producer is Mitchell Patel. We had him on the program last week, actually, having a chat to him, and he's going back on stage himself too shortly. And you've worked with him too, I believe.
Yes, Mitchell and I have done a couple of shows. We did the producers for the production company together, and we also were very fortunate. I got to work with him in A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Forum.
Oh, great show. Yeah.
Played in Melbourne a few years ago.
That's
with
right.
Jeffrey Rush, Shane Bourne, Magda Zemansky. It was a great cast, and Mitchell was fantastic. And I've been quite a fan of Mitchell's work. He's such a versatile and strong performer. He's such a great role model, and he's a fantastic director as well, as it turns out. He, won an award from the Sydney Theatre Awards last year for his direction in Violet, actually, which is a pretty outstanding
Yeah, it's
achievement,
wonderful, isn't it? Yeah.
being his debut.
Yeah. Now, you play alongside Steve Danielson, who plays Monty, and, of course, Ryan Gonzalez, who is Virgil. And the three of you, with the ensemble, of course, but you come together beautifully. It works so well. What's it like working with these two guys?
Oh, they're fabulous. It's as I said, it's wonderful to have a cast who are so right for their roles. Every single cast member, and there's only 11, and even though the show is called Violet, it is absolutely an ensemble piece. And I say this to the cast all the time, that their stories and their contribution to the piece is just as important as myself or anyone else. And Steve and I have been friends for many moons. We our first performing job together was which is in Britch's Theatre Restaurant.
Oh, goodness, that's going back, yeah.
Yeah, we worked in the theatre show there together before either of us had made our musical theatre debuts. And we used to joke about how much we'd love to do a show together, a professional musical together, and lo and behold, here we are. So that's lovely. And Ryan Gonzalez and I have done we were in King Kong together, and he's fabulous as well. He's a true triple threat. The wonderful thing about this cast is that their talents exceed the show. They are absolutely all incredibly talented.
Well, they're all pros. You're all pros. You're wonderful professionals, and it comes across.
They're fantastic.
Yeah, and that space at Chapel Off Chapel lends itself to this sort of production. It's just beautifully done.
Oh, the venue is so beautiful, and everything from the actual venue and the facility and to the staff. And it's the first show I've done at Chapel Off Chapel. I've seen many there, but I've never done one. But yeah, it's a perfect fit, very intimate. And I think for this show, the intimacy is what really grabs people. It makes it. A lot of people come thinking. I've had a few people come that don't like musicals, and they walk out thinking, "You've absolutely changed my mind about how I feel about musicals." And when you get in an intimate setting like Chapel Off Chapel, it allows you to see more than you would in a 2,000-seat theatre. You know, it makes you feel more connected.
That's right. The only thing you've got to think of is the little orchestra beside you there, behind that black curtain. And of course, one of you at the end pulls the black curtain back. We give a huge applause to the orchestra because it's not pre-recorded music, it's live. And that's just wonderful these days. It really, really is.
Yeah, they're tucked away. They're on stage, and so is the cast on the other side of the black curtain. They all have to sit there in silence, waiting patiently for their entrances.
For their entrance. Yeah. It's great stuff. It really is. I loved it. And I'm just raving about it. Sam, I wish you well for the continued season. And what's next for you? What have you got coming up?
Well, next time, 2 weeks after we finish our season here, so we finish here at Chapel of Chapel on the 20th, and 2 weeks after I start rehearsals for the Australian tour of Singing in the Rain. So it's quite the contrast in shows, but I'm very excited to put my tap shoes on and give a couple shuffle ball changes in the rain. And
I'm sure you'll do it well. Lovely to talk to you, Sam. Thank you very, very much for your time today. Wish you well for Singing in the Rain as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
That's a pleasure. Bye-bye to you.